Okay, I'm sorry about the delay. I don't have keys to the classroom, and professors don't usually have keys to classrooms, and it was due, I guess, to a facilities thing. Somebody called and called and called. So luckily we were able to. Next time I'll try to come early and make sure it's open. All right. Sorry about having to wait. Thanks to everybody who did entertaining things, like the balloon things. Any other questions? So I'll try to keep that kind of stuff from happening. Let's see. All right. Any questions about the way the course is run? We did last time any administrative things? Exams, grading, anything like that? The sections will meet this week, Thursday and Friday, and you should probably know who your TA is now. Like you can look at the website and see who your section is, right? Okay. Any questions about enrollment? Yeah.
Not about enrollment, it's about the handouts link. I don't know if I'm the only one who can't successfully access it or not, but when I try to click on it, it just refreshes the page and it brings me back to the original.
You still have problems with the thing?
Yeah, with handouts only.
Okay, I'll check it again. I try to make everything public, but you could. How many people are having trouble with that part of it? Like everybody?
Some other
It works now? Okay.
It works right now?
You might try it and you just let me go home.
Okay.
I checked it yesterday, maybe just, yeah. Yeah, it's on the website. You know your section number, and then it should be on the website. It's in your registration. Like when you registered, it's like a section number.
There's no Friday though.
There is a Friday sections, yeah. Any questions? Of course. Okay, yes.
So is the homework
Yes, it'll be handed out 2 days from now. It'll be given away. All right, any other questions? Okay, great, thank you. All right, we're all okay in the room so far? Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I forgot. Let me just. I'm going to try to keep. Just this is not. Attendance is not an issue for the grade or anything, but I just want to know who's here. I'm just curious. So if you could just write your name down to the desk next to you, and it says an idea who's here. Okay, thanks. So we started last time talking about explaining why people do what you do. This is if you're a social scientist, this is what you do. You think about explaining human behavior, and there are many ways of explaining it. But if you're a game theorist, you explain people's behavior in terms of what? Choice. Okay, that's kind of the main idea. Okay? Not everything is explained by choice, but a big chunk of human behavior, maybe 78%. Okay. All right, we all came here. We all decided to stay here for this class because we chose to. Game theory emphasizes choice. This is just a review. People do what they do because they choose to. Oh, I decided I'm going to try doing a screen capture. Okay, so my little screen capture is running right now, and I'll put it on YouTube. Does that help? Okay, good. I'll see if that works, but it's a large file, but let's see if we can do that. Okay, anyway. People do what they do because they choose to. This is not always true, like if you're in a packed elevator and someone moves back into you, you don't choose to move backward. Okay, but it's true in many situations. How do we model a person's choice? And this is what we did at the end of last class. How do we model a person's choice? So what's the first step? Yeah, well, actually, before options, like even before that is what? Who's identifying who you're talking about? Like, who's the person choosing? Okay. All right. So the first part is there's one person. The next step, as people said, was what? Options, your alternatives, what you choose among. Okay. Seems like if you model choice, you should put that in there. Okay. And the third step was what? Yeah, their payoffs, what their preferences are. Okay. And how do we model that? You use a numerical value. Okay. You put a number on each choice. So each one has a number attached to it, so-called payoff or utility. And finally, what's the outcome of the model? I put that there. You just choose the one with the highest thing. Right? So like we did our apple, blueberry, and cherry pie thing. So I'm choosing between apple, blueberry, and cherry pie. I write down the possible options I have. I write down my payoffs. In this case, what's the prediction? Blueberry. Yeah, blueberry because it's 3 and 5 ET. Okay. All right. Raise your hand if there's a seat next to you which is empty. Okay, cool, thanks. All right. Okay, any questions about this? Since blueberry has the highest payoff, I choose blueberry. And we did this again at the end of last class. I can choose whether to revolt against the regime or stay at home. So what are my choices? Revolt or stay at home. These are my little payoffs I put in here. This is 5 minus C. 5 you can think of as like how much I gain by revolting, how much I gain by helping bring down this regime. C you might think of as my cost, so the cost it takes to get there, and my lost wages, or also the possibility I might get hurt. Staying home is 0. Okay, what do I choose here? Well, it depends on C, right? If C is 1, which is the bigger number. 4, right? That revolt, I'm going to revolt. What if C is 10? Yeah, I'm going to stay home. It makes sense, right? Obviously, the more the cost, the more likely I'm going to stay home. Yes, that makes sense, right? It's super costly for me to go to the revolt. I'm not going to go. Even the most hardened activist is not going to go. All right. So if C is low, in particular if C is less than 5, I will revolt. If the cost is high, I don't. And somebody asked, what if C is exactly 5?
Toss-up.
It's a toss-up, 0-0, right? So in that case, either one is the best choice, right? It's like a tie for first place. All right. Well, that's me. This is in this is in South Korea. This is in 1987. So this is if you were to go in Seoul in 1987. This is not an uncommon sight. Guess what, that bus is a bus. Guess why there's like kind of cages, or wire cages on the outside?
Is it for prisoners?
Nope. Huh? No. Yeah, okay. Well, these are riot police. So in South Korea at the time, there were like 100,000 in Seoul, like 100,000 riot police, like all over the place. Okay, and these are the buses that hung out in, and they're protected from the outside because people would bang on the outside and kind of harass them. That's part of the protest. So anyway, that's me. All right. Now say the model changes a little. Remember we said one of the things you can do with the models do like what if exercises, like change the model around and see what happens. Okay? All right, so before the staying at home was a 0, okay, now I'm going to make it a -10. It's yellow because they changed it. Okay? All right. Before I would revolt if C was less than 5, right? And if C were 10, for example, I would stay at home, yes? Now what happens if C is 10? Now I'm a revolt. Yeah? Even though revolt is costly, I revolt. Why? What makes this different from before?
Because now, let's say
Exactly right.
Isn't this the point where we've seen miscalculations historically and
Yeah.
things that we didn't?
Sure. So
we were estimating.
you might say, exactly, you might say that people brought up a lot of this last time, maybe there's a time issue, but people might make a mistake in making the choice, but we're going to be super simple. So we say, this is the choices, this is the payoffs, they choose the biggest one. So all that kind of stuff you can put in there, but this is kind of like a first step. So what's the point? The point is, now even if C is pretty high, I revolt. Okay? Why do I revolt? Even if C is high, it's because I'm so sick and tired of the regime that I'm willing to do it even if the costs are higher. Does that make sense? Okay? So in other words, my decision to revolt doesn't just depend on the cost of revolting, but also depends on how sick and tired I am, how frustrated I am. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's not too bad. It seems reasonable. Okay. Let me change my mic volume. So, we did something kind of, well, again, this is kind of an obvious model, but this is pretty interesting. Like I said, you can see that people are more likely to revolt if they get really, really tired of the regime. If the payoff from the existing regime goes away. So that people are more willing to take costs if they're unhappy with it, the more unhappy they are with the regime. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's not too bad. We can actually, even this is a very simple model, we can say sort of interesting things. Okay. Now, sometimes people say, like, I'm putting numbers on these things. Does that mean that these numbers are like dollars or money or something? Okay. And the answer is no, because you're supposed to capture the entire situation. Sometimes people don't care just about cash. So this is my example. Say that I have a Valentine's Day present for my personal friend, and I can either get a book, a nice dinner, or matching engraved commitment rings. Okay, so what would you put in? Well, I think the payoff from the book is 4, but of course I think all of us rather have a dinner than a book, yes? That's nice. But maybe you're not really into the commitment ring thing yet, so maybe that's my story. Okay, so even though the commitment rings are more expensive, these numbers don't just correspond to cash or cash values. It corresponds to your preferences. How about how many children will a person have? Okay, so presumably this is a choice you'll have to make in your life. I've made that choice. I have 2. You can have 0. So, okay, how do I model this? How do I use the model on this decision? Okay, first of all, your person, and the options, what are your options? You know, 1 or 0, you can't get it. So it's just like 0 kids, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 7, right? Makes sense? What's the next step? Yeah, assign values to them, right? So maybe, 5 kids. Maybe I like to have some kids, so if negative 1 kid is pretty good, 2 kids is even better. 3 kids, better than 1 kid, but not as good as 2 kids, etc. Okay. 4 kids, 2, and then 5 kids. Oh, maybe I really want to have like a basketball.
So how come it goes up and then down?
Well, why does it go? It's up to you. I mean, it's up to you, yeah.
Oh, so it's arbitrary.
Well, I mean, to some degree, yeah. So if I'm just trying to describe this person's behavior, obviously I want to try to get these as close to that person as possible. So this is a modeling thing, so you're trying to model, let's say, a person. I mean, these might be, so these aren't mine. Well, I guess they might be mine, because I chose 2. And they might be someone else's, might be different. We're all different.
So it was 2 or 5 for you?
No, right, exactly. Okay, anyway, so this makes sense? Do you believe that people make decisions this way? Like, are you making your choice about how many kids they have in this manner? Maybe not, right? Okay. But so you know, for apple, blueberry, cherry, maybe it makes sense, but for more deep life decisions, maybe it doesn't. Okay, but this is the kind of thing we're committed to if we use this very simple way of thinking about it. Okay? So again, we're just doing it the most broad, simplest way of thinking. Okay, so a person with these payouts, well, how many kids will they have? What's the biggest one? 2, right? Do people really act this way? No. Well, maybe not. Okay. But still, this is the kind of assumption we're making. If we assume a simple model, we are assuming that they do. What exactly are we assuming when we assume the simple model? What's going on here? I mean, are we really throwing away so much, or what's going on? So we can answer this question by seeing how the simple model might be violated. So let's think about how this model could be violated. So, okay, this is my example. So say that, again, I'm choosing how many children I'll have in my life. Okay. Say that I choose 0 kids. I'm just not into bodily fluids, you know, diapers. The whole thing turns me off. You know, I'm into pets instead. You know. I guess, you know, there's their bodily fluids too. That's good. Maybe I'm just really into video games. I'm into World of Warcraft. That's my thing. Okay. 0 kids. Okay, then I go to my doctor, and the doctor says, okay, I have bad news to tell you. You can have at most 1 kid. Okay? So of course you can have 0, but you can't have 3. You can have at most 1. And how does the situation change? You know, my options change, right? Before I could go to say 5, but now my options are just 0 and 1. So my doctor says this, and I think, oh my gosh, I can only have at most 1 kid. So maybe I should have a kid. Yeah? Could you see yourself making this decision? Maybe? It's not absolutely nuts, but I guess I can see myself do this. Yeah? Okay, if I behave this way, am I behaving according to the simple model?
No, because that's complex.
Well, I mean, okay, so, well, let's see. Yeah,
The simple model will allow you to access all the options, so it's not even infringing on the.
okay, well, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess my question is like, is that not allowed in the simple model? Cannot the simple model have a different set of options?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. I'm gonna worry that we're gonna be locked in here. Okay. Any other points? Questions? Yeah.
Yeah, just a different model, and you just don't assign, you don't like think about assigning value to it, but subconsciously you are.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that when you pick your final value, since you are limited, you're no longer picking, if you just saw the simple model in front of you, you would have gone with 2 kids, but now because of the circumstance that you have foreseen,
Right.
you're no longer just picking what has the highest value, you're so limited in your choice that it
Right.
changes the initial calculation.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of the thing which I'm looking for, which is, okay, so one way to think about this is that the model's changed a lot, but really, in some sense, the model hasn't changed much. So this is the original thing, 0 to 5, and I choose 0, right? And all that changes when the doctor gives me this information is that instead of going from 0 to 5, I should have 2 options, just 0 and 1, right? Okay, all right. So you're right in the sense that the situation changes, but if I use my simple model, okay, if I choose 0 kids here, what must be the case about my payoffs here? Yeah, exactly right. If I chose 0 kids here, it must mean my little number here for 0 must be higher than the ones before, right?
So what about having only one as an option makes one higher than 0? 0 is still an option.
Okay, yeah.
That's what makes me
Okay,
say it's
okay, all right.
complex.
Okay, I got you. But okay, let me. You're ahead of me. Okay, so if I chose 0 kids here, it must be like my number here, it must be bigger than all the numbers here, yes? Right? Okay, then, when my doctor gives the information, all these things goes away, can then I choose 1 kid as a simple model?
Yes.
Oh.
Can you like
Okay.
reassign values?
Okay, yes, so like you're saying, if you reassign values, of course it could, right? But assuming that your preferences don't change, it's not gonna work. See what I'm saying? You would have to say that your preferences actually change, the numbers that change.
Okay, just to clarify, this is a different, these are different preference values than that previous one where 2 was the highest?
Yeah, exactly.
So now 0 is the highest value?
Yeah.
I misunderstood that.
Yeah, exactly, so, yeah.
No, I
So,
don't understand why.
This is the way to say it. If you choose 0 kids here, it must be that your payoff from 0 kids here is higher than all the other ones, right? But if that's the case, you would never choose 1 over 0. Yeah? See what I'm saying? So in other words, the fact that you choose 0 over 1 kid here means that you should choose 0 over 1 kid here. Even, the fact that you can't choose 2, 3, or 4, or 5 should make a difference. You know what I'm saying? The only way to make this work is to say that the payoffs actually change. Does that make sense? Okay, but that's almost like saying we have a whole other model. Yeah? A whole, so, okay, if you assume that your preferences don't change, this behavior is not consistent with a simple model. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah.
Can you have values that are like value given X condition?
Yeah.
Is that allowed
You can
in
do-
a simple model or is that not a simple
Okay, if you allow the preferences to move around, then of course any behavior will be considered a simple model, right? But if we assume that the preferences are constant, the payoffs are constant, then this behavior is not consistent. Okay? Yeah.
So we're saying like in the simple model, your preferences can't change even if the circumstances change.
Kind of, is the rule set, yeah. If you, in other words, the way to think about it is, if you think that when your doctor tells you this information, the only thing which changes is your set of alternatives and nothing else, okay, then this behavior is not consistent with a simple model, yes? Make sense? Huh? And we'll get more examples in a second. All right, anyway, your behavior, if when your doctor tells you this information, your payoffs don't change, your behavior here violates a simple model. Because here you chose 0 over 1, but in this situation, the only thing which changed was you can't do 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in this situation you chose 1 over 0. So this is behavior which could happen, but this is the kind of thing we're assuming away when we assume simple model. It's exactly this kind of thing. More examples. Flat screen TV versus t-shirt. You're in a store where a 60-inch TV is on sale for $6.99. You can walk 2 blocks and get the same TV at another store for $6.89. You don't have to carry the TV, it'll be delivered either way. All right. How do I use my simple model?
Your,
Hardest your option.
Yeah, what are your options?
the walk 2 blocks and save $10 or pay the extra $10.
Yeah, exactly right. So you can either stay, right, or walk and save $10. It's pretty simple. Right? Okay, how many people would stay? How many people would walk and save $10? Oh, good for you. All right, does that make sense? Okay, all right. I'm not sure, by the way. You guys are into walking. All right, flat screen TV. Now, how about this? The yellow part is the part I changed. Now you're in a store where a UCLA t-shirt is on sale for $17. You can walk 2 blocks and get the same t-shirt at another store for $7. Okay. All right, so what are the choices? Stay and walk and save $10. How many people would stay? How many people? Oh, thank you. How many people would walk and save $10? Yes. Okay. So say you made these choices. Say that you would, when you buy the TV, you would stay because you're thinking, $10 out of $6.99, it's nothing. That's like 1% or something. Okay. But say that you would walk for the T-shirt. Okay. Is this consistent with a simple model?
Yeah, I think so, yes, because what the percentage of what, it's not the same
Yeah,
initially.
Your financial preferences are different. If you can afford a $699 TV, you wouldn't mind spending.
oh, I see.
If
You're
you're
the
in
kind
college
of-
student, you can barely scrape
No, you're the same color.
by. Your energy is possible.
Okay, okay.
Actually, does it follow the single model because it doesn't end with both getting the base payout?
Well, okay, the way to think about it is this. So what do you mean more by that?
The base payout is saving $10 for both choices.
Well, okay, so this is what I will say the same. Say that you chose this and this. Would that be consistent with a simple model? Yes, it means that you really don't mind walking, for example. You really just really need that $10. Okay. What if you chose this and this in both situations? Would that be compatible with a simple model? Kind of would, right? You're right, it wouldn't necessarily, it wouldn't be the most thrifty, but say that you really don't like walking. Or, you see what I'm saying? So the part which is inconsistent is choosing this here and then this in this situation. That's the inconsistent part. See what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't think that's fair because the payoff is, though you're both saving $10 and it's the same distance of walk, in terms of the value of what you're buying, the $10 is not the same thing when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
okay.
about on the TV.
So, okay, so that's kind of like,
T-shirt.
okay, so that's like kind of like an anchoring thing. Say this saving $10 for a TV somehow seems different from saving $10 on a t-shirt.
It is different.
So that kind of thing is exactly what we're ruling out when we do a simple model. Okay? So if you believe in that kind of stuff, which is true, that's the kind of thing we're abstracting away from. Yes?
To reiterate, it's still consistent.
No, okay. This bit here I would say is not. Okay?
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
this is like one of those situations where like the payoff doesn't change even though the situation changes.
Yeah, okay.
So it doesn't-
Yeah, if you let the payoffs change, then of course it would be okay. Yeah, you could.
Okay.
If you could let this be 5 and 3, and this is 2 and 4, or something like that. There's a question?
Yeah, I was just saying, so you just need to think in like really stripped down, like mono-directional terms,
Right.
like any variables, basically.
Right.
Really narrow-minded.
Right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Now,
No, I mean, okay, so a lot of people say, game theory is such a narrow-minded way of thinking about it. Well, it sort of is, because you'll see we'll do more complicated stuff later. So if it becomes complicated now, we're gonna have no hope later on. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna just try to keep things super simple for now, so that we'll, when we do more complicated things, it doesn't get ridiculously complicated.
So these are two separate models because they're two separate decisions, right?
Yeah,
And so in each model, we assign different values to each thing,
Yeah.
and so we're just making different decisions in each one. So why, if we're making a decision in which has the highest value,
right.
why wouldn't that be consistent?
Okay,
with the
so
model?
again, that's kind of like what we said before. If you really think these are completely different situations, then there is no contradiction.
Okay.
So, yeah, you could say again, the payoff here is 6, and the payoff for that is 4. The payoff here is 3, and the payoff for that is 5. So that's okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, to kind of make this thing work, you have to sort of assume that there's some similarity. Okay, for example, so we'll keep on pushing on this. Okay, so say you bought a concert ticket for $50, you have the ticket and an extra $50 in your wallet. Okay, so you're going to the Staples Center or something, you have the ticket and the $50 in your wallet. There's your ticket, your $50. Okay, how many people have actually used a physical ticket to get into a concert? Oh, good for you. How many people now routinely use it? All right. Okay, so at the box office, $50 and an equally good ticket are freely exchangeable. Because you can go in and refund your ticket, buy a new ticket, whatever, the same thing. As you enter the auditorium, you realize you've lost your ticket. Oh my God. You can't log back into Ticketmaster. Okay, so your ticket goes away. Do you buy a new ticket? Okay, how many people would buy a new ticket? Okay. How many people would not buy a new ticket? Okay, all right. Okay. All right. So okay, remember your heads. New scenario, you have bought a concert ticket for $50, you have the ticket and an extra $50 in your wallet. Okay. So again, at the box office, $50 and an equally good ticket are freely exchangeable. As you enter the auditorium, you realize you've lost your $50. Oh no. $50 goes away. Do you refund your ticket and go home? How many people would refund their ticket and go home? Okay. All right. So in the first scenario, you lost your ticket. And most people, what did they choose? If you lost a ticket, most people didn't buy a new ticket yet. Okay. In the second scenario, how many people refunded the ticket all of a sudden? Okay, so let's see. Is this you? So this is the person, you lost your ticket and you don't buy a new ticket. Okay? When you lost $50, you don't refund your ticket. How many people were like this? Okay? This is the typical kind of way you do an experiment. Okay? Because no one wants to buy a ticket twice. Yeah? So the fact that losing $50, they're not going to refund you because you lost $50. Yeah? Make sense? Yes?
But for buying a new ticket, losing a ticket doesn't depend on like who you're seeing.
Yeah, okay, it does. Sure. You want me to give you more details?
Someone like buying.
You would buy?
But then, and also if you lost the $50, I feel like you wouldn't exchange it for another $50 because you drove all the way there, like the cost.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay. In both cases, you drove all the way there, right? In both cases, physically, it's the same thing. Okay, anyway, let's check. Yeah.
But the people up front who I heard saying that they wouldn't buy a new ticket, I heard them saying, because I'm already here. They didn't plan on leaving and missing the concert.
Okay. Let's just check. Now, if you were like this, is this consistent with a simple model? Okay, let's think about it. What happens in the first, you lost your ticket. If you bought a new ticket, what would happen? You would see the concert and you'd have $0 in your wallet. That's correct, that's what happens, right? That's the actual event. Again, you lost your ticket. If you don't buy a new ticket, you don't see the concert, and you keep your $50 in your wallet. Yes? Makes sense? And you chose to, when you lost your ticket, to not buy a new one. You just chose to go home. Yeah? At least some people do. So that's a scenario of lost ticket. Lost $50. Okay. If I don't refund my ticket, I will see the concert and have $0 in my wallet, right? Because I lost $50. Yeah? Does that make sense? That's what happens. If I refund my ticket, I don't see the concert, and I have $50 back in my wallet. Yeah? In this case, I chose no concert and $50, over seeing concert and 0 in my wallet. In this case, I chose seeing concert and 0 in my wallet over no concert and $50. Does that make sense? No. Okay? Well, maybe it makes sense, but it violates a simple model. Yes? You see what I'm saying? Do you believe this example? Okay, yeah.
Then the problem is with rationale, right?
Okay, again,
That's
the way to think about this is kind of like you're saying. If you think that, for example, I have a rule that I feel stupid buying the same ticket twice, and therefore I'm not going to do it. It's kind of like saying that things other than the outcome affect your decisions. Things like things which happened in the past, like whether I take a pass or that affects my decisions. That's the kind of thing we're assuming away, essentially, when we assume single model. We're basically saying that people only care about outcomes. They don't care about the way that the decision was framed, so to speak. Have you ever seen? Yeah.
So is the simple model just simply like very consequentialist?
Exactly right. That's exactly what it is. For example, have you seen this thing about like when you go to the gas station, you can either pay like a 10% discount for cash or a 10% surcharge for credit cards? They always say it's a 10% cash discount, right? They never say you get an extra fee for paying this credit card. Why do they do that?
Sounds like me.
Yeah, exactly right. So it makes it sound a little better to say, oh, you get a great deal paying cash. So it's kind of like it's the same thing, right? It's how it's kind of framed.
then in terms of the value of it in real world application is.
So the idea is that we're using a very simple way of thinking about choices because we're going to make it more complicated by looking at multiple choices. That's what's going to happen. So if you're a psychologist, you can think about a lot of this stuff just as an example. This is so-called framing. This is how I think about this. The choice affects my choice. Okay? That's kind of a different little avenue you can go along. That's also pretty complicated. So, okay. So if I behave this way, am I violating the simple model?
Yes.
Yes. What if I decided in both cases to not see the concert? Then I would be okay, right? It means that I care more about money than the concert. What if in both cases I decided to see the concert? I care more too, right? So they care more about the concert. Does this make sense? Okay. All right. This is the kind of stuff we're seeing. This violates the simple. Okay, so this is something which actually happened to me, or a version of this happened to me. Okay, so your grandmother gave you $100 for your birthday. Okay. You buy a ticket to see Adele on Ticketmaster for $50. Okay?
Nice. That's pretty cheap.
I got tickets to Adele for $48.50. This is a real life story.
How far away?
This is Staples.
I mean, like,
How far were you?
It was like
in
in
the
section
stadium or
132.
not?
Huh?
Were you in the stadium or
I
not?
was in Staples. I wasn't outside. I could see
You
it. I got on a Ticketmaster. I was totally lucky. Okay, I had like 4 computers. I was like, okay. The day before the concert, you go on StubHub. This actually happened to me, and realized you could sell each ticket for $250. I could have sold my 4 tickets for $1,000. So I kid you not. Okay. All right.
And you chose not to?
Okay, so what's my model? What does the model say? How do I think about this in the model?
Keep the tickets, go to the concert.
Yeah, so keep the concert or sell the stuff. Okay, do you sell your ticket? Well, okay, so yeah,
The
you can
concert
either go back there and go. So you can, yeah, so I chose, well, okay, so in the new situation, your grandma gave you $100 for your birthday. You try to buy a ticket to see Adele but fail, as most people did when they went to Ticketmaster. Okay. Right. How many people tried and failed to get tickets for Ticketmaster? Okay, all right. Your uncle feels sorry for you, so he gives you an additional $200 for your birthday. So you have rich relatives. Okay. Right. The day before the concert, you go on StubHub and see that you can buy an Adele ticket for $250. Okay, this is true too. Okay. Do you buy a ticket for $250?
What?
You can see it going.
You have $300 in your pocket, and you can spend $250 to see Adele.
And you didn't have to work for that money.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just, you buy a ticket and stuff. Okay, so let's think about this. Okay. First scenario is when I see it on Ticketmaster, you can either sell it, not sell it and see Adele, or sell it on StubHub. If I did sell it, remember I started with $100, I spent $50 on the ticket, so I have $50 in my wallet and I see Adele. Okay. If I sold it, what would happen?
You want
$300 and no Adele. Okay. I'll have to sell it for, I don't know, Katy Perry. Okay. All right, that's the first scenario. Second scenario, Ticketmaster failure. I can either buy it on StubHub or not buy it. If I buy it on StubHub, what happens? Well, I had $300 because my uncle's gift. I bought the ticket and I ended up seeing Adele, $50 in my wallet. Okay. If I didn't buy it, the ticket, I won't see Adele and I'll have $300 in my wallet. Okay. Now, what did I choose? Well, what would you choose here? Okay, would you sell it on StubHub? How many people would sell it on StubHub? Okay, how many people would just say, well, I bought it for $50, so I should just go see it? Okay. All right. And this is the scenario. How many people would buy a $250 ticket on StubHub? Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. How many people would not buy it? Okay. All right. So this is what I did. Okay. I did not sell it, and that is my proof that I went to the concert because that was taken on my cell phone. I was there. It was good. I chose to not sell, but I knew that if I didn't have the tickets on Ticketmaster, there's no way I would spend $250 to see it. Okay. This is what I chose. How many people would have chosen the same guy? Yeah, big chunk. Yes.
Still consistent with simple model.
No, is it consistent with simple model? Kind of isn't. Okay. Yeah.
We just assume there's like no second scenario. Could you implement the simple model with just the first one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be involving like C and what is that?
No, it could be super simple. It could just be simply like my payoff from here is like, okay, the simplest thing is like, well, put it in cash terms. Say that my value for seeing Adele is like, I don't know, 150 or something. So this is like 100, and this is like, I guess it would have to be more than that, right? Say my value for seeing Adele is 400, so this is like 350. This is 300. You can do it like that. Or you can simply say my payoff from here is 10. This is 2. That's okay. Okay. Yeah.
To be clarified, so you said seeing Adele is worth 400.
Okay, say that if I did it that way, yeah, this would be 350 and this would be 300, then I would choose 350.
But to clarify, so the term no Adele, wouldn't that be negative?
I would call it 0, say, in my little scenario. Don't worry about that too much. Okay, is this behavior consistent with a simple model? The answer is no, right? Because in this case, I saw Adele and kept $50 in my wallet afterward. I chose that over no adult 300 in this scenario. In this scenario, I chose no adult 300 over seeing adult 50. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, it's not consistent in the model. The reason in my mind is well, I know I can sell my adult ticket for $250, but it's not really costing me $250 because I only paid $50 for it. Does that make sense? It's not crazy to think that way, you know. That's how I thought. I thought we should definitely go to this thing. My wife was saying, not sell the tickets. I said, no, I love it. Oh, it's good. But then she would say, well, okay, you're going to sell it for $250. Would you pay $250 to buy the ticket? I would say no. And then my wife says, well, there you go. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Would it apply the rule about like not assuming the person is materialistic when it has an arbitrary value? Could you also apply it to every scenario?
Yeah, okay, so right. You don't have to assume that people are materialistic to make this a contradiction, right? It simply means that irregardless of no matter what value you place on this, the value, if you chose this way, the value you place on this must be greater than the value you place on this. But that's not consistent with the behavior down here. Yeah.
Okay, so, are you about to abstract it a bit more?
Sorry?
Are you about to like take away
No.
these? Okay, alright, so then, what I'm understanding is that you have these two scenarios, and then in the one there's choice A and B, and then there's outcome 1 and 2.
Right.
And then in the first one you've chosen choice A because it yields outcome 1. And then in the second one you're saying there's choice C and D, and then but you have the same two outcomes 1 and 2. And then maybe if you choose D it's inconsistent, but I don't know, I'm not sure.
Well, we can talk about that. So yeah, the way this thing only works if you think that this is equivalent to this. It kind of is, right? Yeah.
So like in political science, like who determines to pick like what the consequences are? Because like in this situation and other situations, like you're not like accounting ever really for all the consequences.
Yes.
So like
Again, okay, so all right, so you guys are pushing me a lot. This is good. You're right. Okay, so if you would say we're actually thinking about how people decide to make a decision, like whether you're actually to attend the protest. So we're actually going to take this to a room. So we're actually going to think about this. You're right. There's lots of complicated things about how people make decisions. If you really want to understand in fine detail, we'll have to go into that deeply. Okay, so what this does, this example does say is that, for example, what psychologists call framing matters. Okay, so for example, so like, it's kind of like the debate last night. It's like what your expectation is depends, you know, how good you think you do depends on what your expectation is when you start. Right? If you have very low expectations, you'll win by doing something very minimal. If you have high expectations, you'll lose if you do even better. See what I'm saying? Okay? So similarly here, this is kind of like a baseline issue. When I thought about seeing Adele, I compared Adele with $50. That was my baseline, because that was what I actually paid for it. Here, I'm comparing Adele with $250. Okay? So it's a different baseline, even though the actual choices are exactly the same. See what I'm saying? That's kind of the base effect, yeah.
So how can we feel like we're making rational predictions or predictions that are reliable if we're ignoring something valid, something that is real and that is a real part of the
This
picture?
class is all about ignoring stuff. Just like in the model I said, because again, there's many different paths you can take. If you really want to take it seriously, again, you can spend, I know people who spend their whole lives studying exactly this kind of stuff. They literally spend, like they put people in a room and say, you want to choose the interview, you know, if I change this, you're going to choose B versus A, blah, 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 blah. Like, they will look at how the baseline, for example, affects your choice. So we can go along that line, but what we'll instead do is keep this simple and go along a different line. Okay, that line will be toward considering multiple people. Okay, that's the value. All right, how many people would see Adele throughout? I think there's some people, they would just pay for it. Straight up. Yeah, okay, good. How many people would not Adele fans? Okay, all right. Anyway, so if you chose both of these, then you would not violate. If you chose both times to see Adele, you would not. But this behavior does not. How about which university should I attend? UCLA. Say that you're choosing between UCLA and Yale. Okay, so you want to get a decent education, so therefore you choose obviously UCLA. Is there a U in this? Okay, so now you get acceptances for 3 more schools. Okay, UCLA, Yale, Stanford, UCSD, Pomona. Okay? Alright, and you think, I can always test for California schools, so maybe I should go to the non-California one. Okay, so I choose Yale, because it's the only non, that's not absolutely nuts, right? I've been in California a long time, maybe people are coughing and like.
I don't think anybody ever
All right.
writes down the long
So, anyway, if you chose this way, are you violating the simple model or not?
Yes.
Yes, right? Because if you chose UCLA over Yale, it means that my payoff from UCLA must be higher than the payoff from Yale, like 7 must be bigger than 3, right? But if my payoff is from UCLA is bigger than the payoff from Yale, I would choose Yale when I had even more choices. Yes? Yeah, makes sense. So this behavior, although it might happen, is not consistent with simple model.
But if you're thinking that you want to go out of state, then your UCLA payoff would be dispersed among some of the.
Maybe. Okay, yes?
But if you choose one of the other schools, like Stanford or whatever, that doesn't violate it though? I mean,
Yeah, exactly,
one of
right.
those because we don't know, like
Yeah,
we don't
exactly.
remember some values.
Except that I chose UCLA over Yale, but then in this case I chose UCSD or Stanford. Would that violate?
No, I mean, okay, if we didn't know the values, like
Right,
we
right.
never assumed we didn't know the values, right?
Okay.
So then, and so obviously you can't, like you chose UCLA, you're not gonna choose Yale the second time, then you
Right.
can choose Stanford the second time, right? Because like
Yes.
we don't actually know what its value is and what it's
Okay,
choosing.
yeah, we'll do that in a second. If I chose UCLA over Yale, and then I chose Stanford in this case, would that violate the model?
Still.
No, it would be okay. But it would be consistent with UCLA's payoff being greater than Yale, and Stanford's being higher than either.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So. How about if I chose UCLA over Yale, and I get more acceptances, and I choose UCSD, this is what we just talked about. Does this violate the simple model? No, this is okay, it means that you just like UCSD better. I can make a scenario where UCSD is a high pay. Okay, what about, I chose Yale now, and the acceptances of 3 more schools, and I still choose Yale. Does this violate the simple model? No, right? It just simply means to say, oh, go that way. Make sense?
Yes.
So all this kind of behavior, so we kind of know, have some idea about what behavior is consistent and what is not consistent with the simple model. When we assume the simple model, what are we assuming away? We're assuming a lot of things away, which we talked about. Sort of framing or contextual effects. The context of whether I'm thinking about buying my Adele ticket for $50 or for $250. We assume away involuntary behavior, like say that you fall asleep in a class or something, you didn't choose to necessarily, sort of involuntary. Reflexes. Sometimes people talk about behavior based on drives. So yesterday, say I ate a burrito and I got a stomach ache, and I know it's not related to burrito, but I just can't eat another burrito there. Okay? That's not like a choice, it's just kind of like a drive. Somebody once gave me this example of like, you're sometimes like have you ever done rock climbing or another thing where is that what it is? Rock climbing, and you're kind of at the top and you think, I just can't do that. I want to, but I can neither go up or down. You know what I'm talking about? And people say, go up, you're not really, it's sort of like choice is not really an issue, you just can't do it. That's the kind of thing which is also ruled out by a lot of interesting human behaviors are ruled out. Okay, and also maybe rule-based behavior. Say like I have a little rule to myself, never pay more than $200 for a concert ticket. This kind of thing is also. Okay, note there is some arbitrariness in writing payoffs. This is my apple, blueberry, cherry example, which is 582. Say that I had 412 and minus 3 instead. Is that a different model or the same one?
Same.
Sort of the same, right? 12 is like in the highest, second highest is apple, cherry is the worst. So there is some arbitrariness in writing payoffs. Really, only the order matters. All that really matters is which is best, second best. So this is my question. We talked about it already. What does rationality mean? When you're asked to say what is being rational, does it mean being prudent, or does it mean saving money? What does it mean? Seems like there are a lot of ways you think about rationality. One is that it's hard to answer this question without being judgmental about what people should want. Okay, so we're going to try to answer it in a non-judgmental way. Say that, for example, you enjoy being a human dartboard. Is this person being irrational?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he just really likes. Yeah. Okay. So the way that we answer this question in social science is usually to say, the answer to go into game theory is that rationality means behavior which is consistent with simple model. So it's not about like whether you're making good choices so much, but we can talk about that, like should I change my oil? And if I never changed, I know I had a friend who bought a car and literally never changed the oil until the car just stopped working. What will happen if you never change the oil? It just really stopped. Okay, was he being irrational? Well, I don't know. I mean, according to our model, maybe he just really didn't like going to the oil change place. Okay, or really, just had his time a lot.
So according to the model, your behavior with the adult is irrational.
Yes, it would be. So according to this model, exactly, my behavior with the delta was not rational. So this is the way we think about rationality. Okay? Abstract set. Any questions about that? Okay. Let's push ahead a little bit. So let's see if we can get to our next little example. Okay, here's this. This is my simplest model of individual choice. Again, there's one person. What's the next step in the model? Outcomes, right? Alternatives. And the third step was payoffs, right? Exactly. You choose the alternative with the highest payoff. If there's a tie for first place, you choose one. So game theorists look at the world in terms of individuals each making choices. Yes.
Go back. If she has to choose between two things with the same payoff, doesn't that mean it's not a simple model because it brings other variables?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so say there's two things or more than two things which tie for first place, then we would simply say that any of those things would be okay with simple model, but we have no way of telling them. So you might say the tiebreaker is like, emotions or something like that, but that's just all. All right. How do we apply simple model? Again, so if you're a game theorist, when you use a simple model, the first step is to focus on the relevant individual, figure out who's making the choice. The second step was what? Options, write down that person's alternatives. Third step is assign payoffs. Okay, and then the last step is the prediction, which is you simply choose, you predict that the person will make the choice with the highest payoff. Okay. If you were a game theorist, could you predict my Adele behavior? No, that would work. Now let me give you an example. Are we okay with this? Okay. So I think we have time just to see this little example and talk about it for a minute. This is a movie which starred Sandra Bullock in it. Okay, here we go.
Balls, Sue and Justin. It's just a theory. Can I lay it out for you? Yeah.
Do you know who that guy is? Yeah.
Therefore, every truly free act is, in a sense, a crime. A crime sets one apart from the herd and from the machinery of mass society. It cannot be a crime of profit or passion. It must be a gratuitous, random crime. Crime's philosophy is freedom. Interesting. Do you believe it?
Well, it's a school paper. You have to write something.
If you kill somebody to prove you're free and then throw up your dinner because you're upset about what you did, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
Richard didn't throw up his dinner because he didn't feel guilty. He's free, Justin. You're not. Relax. Let them learn what we're up to. Let me tell you something. And it's going to be the most important thing you ever hear. More important than all the instructions on the SATs and APs. The person who actually killed Amelia is gonna be executed, or at best go to jail for the rest of his life, and in your case, that would be about 60 years. But the other one who didn't actually kill her, if he cooperates, will have a chance at a real life.
All right. I'm sorry. What's going on here? Have you seen this business law thing? Who are the people? I'm going to use my simple model. Sorry. Who are the people involved? Gosling and the other guy, Richard and Justin. What are their choices?
Confess
or not, yeah? I'm going to use my simple model. How do I respond to Richard's behavior? Can I use my simple model?
Yes.
Well, okay, what are the choices?
Confess
or not? Okay, however, what? Somebody said it, right? It's a little bit different. What's different about this? There's two people, right? Obviously, Richard's payoff depends on what? What Justin's done, yes? Oh, that's the kind of thing we're going to talk about. Okay, all right, yeah. Yeah. Hey. After class until about 2.
What movie was that?
This is Murder by Numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you seen it? A lot of these are old movies. But...
I thought it was a comfortable one.
Oh no. Have you seen LA Confidential, that movie?
Oh, no.
It's also, there's a scene similar to that.
Oh,
Yeah. See it? Well,